So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can break up and self-massage all of your knots, aches, joints without having to pay a chiropractor, a physio, a sports therapist, a sports massage therapist, acupuncture. You can do it all simply with a tennis ball or what I've got here, a lacrosse ball, which will cost you £5 to £10 on Amazon. So what I'm going to show you in this video, I'm going to show you how to work the whole body in order to fix the back pain. So first of all, we're going to start with our feet. Now often what you'll find with people with back pain is the feet aren't strong enough and we find this tightness on the bottom of the arch. So it's really important to improve your flexibility to actually break up the bottom of the feet. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to pop the ball into the middle of the arch. You're going to put as much weight into there as you can. Now, if you need to hold on to something, do so, but you're going to push down and then just roll it off the inside of the foot. I just want you to push and roll it down over and over again. I want you to do 10 of those. 5, 6, and it's not a race. Just push down and pull across. After 10 of those, what we're going to do, we're going to come into a kneeling position, grab your foot, put all the weight into it as you can, then we're just going to curl your toes as tight as you possibly can, and then spread them out as high as you can. So 10 curls, full range of motion, pushing that ball as hard as you possibly can into the base of your foot. Brilliant. After 10 rolls and then 10 curls, we're going to do the other side. So push down into the sole of the foot hard as you can and then pull it off the inside. Now that's going to be quite painful. I want that to be about a 7 out of 10 on your pain scale, 10 being burning alive pain, 1 being nothing. Just keep rolling off the inside of that foot. After 10 of those, come down into that kneeling position, grip your foot, push down into that ball, curl the toes, and then raise them up for 10. 3, 4, 5. No need to rush, but really get full range, really full curl. And just breaking up the tissue on the bottom of the foot. When you can do that, what you find is when it's tight, imagine this is the arch of your foot. When it's tight, it's pulling that arch down. When your feet collapse, as I showed you in the 6-point checklist video, they start to collapse in because of that tightness, drawing the knees in, drawing the hips in, causing a curve in your spine, which is causing you back pain. So it's really good to look after your feet. It's like building the foundations of a house. If you don't build good foundations, you can never build a solid building on top. So after breaking up the feet, we're going to start working around the hips and the back muscles just to relieve you of that pain. So first things first, we're going to aim for this muscle here. It's called your piriformis. It lies just underneath your glutes. So we're going to attack it from a side angle, sitting on one cheek, knees bent. And you're going to just do a few circles. What I want you to do, I want you to just hunt for the worst areas. So I'm moving around the glutes, looking for the worst part. When I find it, mine's about there. I'm just going to breathe in for 4 seconds. Tense my glutes for 4 seconds, and then I'm going to breathe out for 8 seconds. And when I breathe out, I'm just relaxing the muscle and letting that ball just melt further into the glute. I'm going to do that 3 times, so 3 deep breaths, so 4 seconds in. Tense the glute, and then out for 8. And just relax into that muscle. I can do a few circles. And then again, final breath in. Tense the glute. And then breathe out for 8. And the idea of that breathing technique, it just allows that ball to just melt into your glute a little bit more. So we're going to have a little hunt around again, find another painful spot. Where's the most painful area? Find it. And then you're going to repeat those 3 breaths one more time. So deep breath in. Tense. And then breathe out for 8. You're just relaxing into that, just letting it massage that part of the glute. Breath 2. Tense, and then out. And just play around with your knee position, find whatever works for you, wherever that most sore bit is. I want you to be hitting, again, 7 out of 10 on your pain scale. If it's too painful, just push through the feet and the hands to ease off pressure. If it's not painful enough, just sit even deeper into that ball. And just relaxing. If you're feeling any pain going down the legs, some shooting pains, don't worry, that's completely normal as we're working near that sciatic nerve in the piriformis. So, after 3 breaths on that glute in 2 different positions, we're going to come onto the other side. So remember, we're going to just do some circles, and you're not just rolling frantically for the hell of it. We're coming into those circles and you're hunting, you're looking for the worst bit. Mine's there. You feel like you're attacking this from a side angle. You'll know when you're on it, it'll make your face screw up. So when you're on it, leave it on there. Take that 4-second breath in. Tense the glute for 4 seconds, pushing against the ball. An isometric push, and then breathe out for 8 and just relax. I just want you to be like a rag doll, just relax into it. Breath 2. In for 4. Squeeze for 4, so I'm really tense my glute, and then out for 8. And I'll just kind of move my knee around, work on that spot, and then last breath. In for 4, tense for 4, and then breathe out for 8. Okay, so after 3 breaths on that one spot, I'll do a few more circles, just hunting for that sore bit. Might be higher, might be lower, might be wider, might be narrower, but when you find it, there, I'll go through that breathing technique again. So 4 seconds in, squeeze, and then 8 seconds out. And I'm just relaxing my glute when I breathe out. And going even heavier into that ball, so you'll feel pain raise as you breathe out. That's good. I'm going to move my knee in a little bit to shoot that pain up to that 7, 8 out of 10 mark, and then my last breath on that spot. Squeezing the glute. And then out. Very good. So breaking up that piriformis. That piriformis often gets tight as it's weak. As our program progresses, we're going to be strengthening up the glutes so you can ease the pressure off the thighs, improving your posture. So that should get better every time that you're doing this. We're then going to work up onto the upper glute region, the strap of your shorts. So we're going to find the base of your spine, and then we are going to roll just a couple of inches to the side. What I want us to do, lying flat with your knees bent, you've got to find that area. Now, again, move around. Everyone's going to be slightly different here. It might be higher, might be lower, might be wider. Just take your time to find a spot near the top of the glutes. And when you find it, you'll know you're on the right place. It will shoot the pain up to that 7, 8 out of 10. And when you're on it, we're just going to relax into it. So 4-second breath into the belly. Squeeze your glutes for 4 seconds, and then out for 8 seconds again. And as I breathe out for 8, I'm just getting heavier into that ball. What we're doing with the pressure in this trigger point, just sending a signal to the brain to just relax the tension in this muscle, and that's where the breathing comes in. So breath 2. Squeeze your glutes for 4 seconds, and out for 8. And just go heavier on that ball. And then the last one. So 3 breaths in one spot. We're then going to roll again Further to the outside, up, down, find your spot. Again, everyone's going to be slightly different. It might be a bit higher on you, it might be a bit lower. But when you find a sore bit, a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10 on your pain scale, leave it on there. Mine's quite wide, so I'm going to stay there. Just tilting my hips into it, and I'm going to do my 3 breaths again. 4 in, squeeze for 4, then out for 8. And again. That's good. Now we're going to move on to the other side. But if you find yourself particularly tight there, it's quite common with back pain that this is a tight area, lots of trigger points here. Then you can stay on here and just keep finding new spots. 2 to 5 minutes on each one. Just keep doing those 3 breaths in, find a new spot, and you can work your way across that whole hip. For the purpose of this video, we're going to move to the next side. So find the base of your spine, roll it slightly to the side. And again, you're going hunting. So it's up and down, and you're thinking about your body. You're not just rolling around like a loony. Come around, find the worst bit. Mine's about there. Try and relax into it. Your brain's going to be telling you to get off this area. You've got to calm your brain down. And when it starts to calm down, so it's about 7 out of 10, we can begin our breathing technique. 4 seconds in, squeeze the glute for 4, and then out for 8. And again, just a reminder, when you breathe out, you're just relaxing into that zone. That breath in. Squeeze against that ball by squeezing your glutes hard. And then out for 8. And just relax into it. Last breath on this point. Squeeze. And then out. Good. Okay, find a new area. Might be wider, mine's just there, might be higher, might be lower, but find that spot. You'll know when you're on it, because your pain will shoot back up. And then we'll do our 3 breaths again on that spot. So, calming the brain down. You've literally got to tell yourself, it's okay, you're meant to be on here, this is going to work. 4-second breath in. Squeeze for 4. And then out for 8 seconds. Very good. It should get easier after every single breath, just that little bit easier. Good. And then our final breath on this side. Squeeze the glutes against it. And then out for 8. Just slowly relaxing that muscle, letting the ball get even deeper in there. Good. And again, when you've got time, you can find as many spots as you need. Just find a new area. Do your 3 deep breaths into that area. 4 seconds in, squeeze for 4, out for 8. You can't overdo this. You will not hurt yourself doing this. You will not damage yourself doing this, even though it's like sore and uncomfortable. Just take your time on these areas. But again, for the purpose of this video, we're going to start moving on. Now, where we're going to move on to next is a muscle called your tensor fasciae latae. It's a muscle you've never heard before, but it's going to be really, really important in your back pain recovery. Think of, on your shorts, the top of the pocket. So it's on the side of the hip. And we're going to work in that area now. Now, the reason we have to work on this muscle is it attaches into your IT band, which connects your knee to your hip. Often we find tightness in this area, and it will come from overworking this area and poor posture. So, grabbing the ball, finding the top of your pocket or that area if you don't have a pocket. We're going to come and lie on our side so you can see the ball there. I'm going to use my arm as a pillow and I'm going to bend my knees, okay, and that's just going to contract that muscle enough. Now I'm going to roll forward and backwards, up and down till I find the right spot, and this can be a really sore one, so you'll know when you're in the right area. Mine's about there. I can push my hand into the floor to ease pressure off if it's too painful. But if I can, I'm just going to try and relax into that, just calming the brain down again. And when I'm on the right spot, I can begin my 3-second breath. So 4 seconds in. And I'm just going to tense my glutes again for 4 seconds, squeezing against that ball. And then I'm going to release slowly for 8 seconds. And I'm just going to allow that ball to melt into that TFL muscle. And you can really feel yourself relaxing into that. Again, if you can feel shooting pains down the leg, that's normal. Don't fight it. We're just releasing those neural pathways, those nerves. And then a 4-second breath in again. I'm tensing against the ball as hard as I can. And then 8 seconds out. Just relaxing into everything. If you're fighting this pressure and not relaxing into there, you're not going to get as much out of this exercise. So do just convince the brain to relax. If it's so painful you can't breathe, you need to put more weight into this hand to ease off that pressure. So final breath. I'm tensing against. And then I'm going to breathe out for 8. And I'm just melting into that ball, feeling that pressure. After you've done your 3 breaths, we're just going to rock backwards and forwards for a few moments, just fully breaking up that tensor fasciae latae muscle. Just gently rocking. It doesn't have to be fast, doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to get that ball rocking over that tight muscle. Great, slowly off there. Flip yourself around, we're going to do the other side. So, again, finding the top of the pocket here. I'm going to come onto our side. Using your arm as a pillow. Have a little roll around, find the right area. You're near the side of the hip bone. Mine's about there, so I'm going to leave it on there. And when I'm ready, I'm going to take those 4-second breaths in, 4-second squeeze, 8 seconds out. Again, on those 8 seconds, I'm just telling my brain to relax and let the ball feed in, like a sports massage, feed into that muscle. Just sending signals to my brain that this is okay. Might be sore, might be uncomfortable, but this is what we need to release the tension in those muscles so you never have to pay for a sports massage again. This is exactly what sports massage is doing. You can do it at home with a tennis ball for free. So, second breath in. Squeeze against the ball. And then 8 seconds out. Again, just relax. Last breath. Deep breath in, squeeze. And then 8 seconds, breath out. Alright, I'm just putting all my weight into that ball as relaxed as I can. And just at the end, I'm just going to rock the hips gently, forward and backwards over that ball just to help break it all up. And again, just send more of that signal to the brain that, look, there's a problem here. You've probably never felt pain in this section of your hip, so it takes putting some pressure into that muscle. If you don't feel any pain here, that shows that this muscle's probably okay. Or you're on the wrong spot, so have a little roll around and make sure that you're definitely finding that 7, 8 out of 10 pain. Great. So coming off that TFL muscle, that means we've worked the feet, piriformis, the TFL, the upper glutes. We're now going to come into a muscle called your quadratus lumborum. Now, that's this fleshy part between your rib cage and your pelvis, and it attaches here, your rib cage, onto your pelvis. Now what we find is these muscles are short because we tend to be tighter in our hips, pulls the front of the pelvis down, raises the back of the pelvis up, shortening these parts. So grabbing a ball can be great for massaging this tight muscle. Now, if you're doing this at home, you can put your feet up on a chair, on a sofa. Here, I'm going to put my feet up onto the squat rack here, so there's a 90-degree bend. We are going to pop that ball in the fleshy part between your rib cage and your pelvis. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to attack that from a side angle. So when I'm in that position, you can see the ball there. I'm just going to put all my weight down into that ball. So I'm trying to push my back into it, and I'm going to drop my knees to the side. If that is sore, that's how you're going to leave it. And we're going to do our 4-second breaths in. If that's not sore enough, hug and do a little sit up into that knee. And that's how I'm going to do it. So I'll feel me putting loads of pressure into that ball. I'm into a good spot. So 4 seconds in. And I'm just going to hold this for 4 seconds. Don't have to tense on this one. And then I'm going to breathe out for 8. And again, you'll find that you'll be able to hug that knee even tighter and push down even harder into that ball. So second breath in. Again, I can hug that knee even tighter now. And then last one. Every breath just putting more relaxation into that 8 seconds out and more of a stretch by hugging that knee. Lovely. After 3 deep breaths, we'll attack the other side. Again, finding that fleshy spot in between the rib cage and the pelvis, hitting it from a side angle. Your feet are going to be up on the sofa. If you need to, don't hug the knee, but the extreme level is to hug that knee just to push your back into that ball, and then do your 3 breaths. So 4 seconds in, hold 4, and then out for 8. And I'm pulling that knee in tighter after every breath, but just relaxing into it even more. And then our final breath. That's good. So we're doing our 3 breaths either side there. If you are particularly tight in that area or need extra time in that area, don't be shy. Do 6 breaths, do 9 breaths. You're not going to overdo it. You can spend between 2 to 5 minutes on each of these spots. But what we're going to do, because we're working on full body, we're going to keep moving on. So we're working our way up. We've worked around the hips now. Now what we're going to do is something where you're going to be tight. You might not feel it, but we're going to work on our upper back. Now we often find with our modern day society that we're rolling forwards and it's being too tight on the front of the body, too weak on the back. So we need to break up the back of the body just to ease it, to allow us to get good posture. We find when we're typing at a desk that we're slumped, and we're putting pressure on those back muscles, same as driving, same as texting. What we want to be able to do is open up and be able to allow our shoulders to come into the back of the socket. By breaking that up with the lacrosse ball, you're able to do that. So where we're going to focus first of all, in between the shoulder blade and the spine, we're going to place that ball, head down, okay, and we're just going to have a roll around, up, down, finding the worst spot. So where it's a 7 or 8 out of 10. Now, if you're particularly tight in this area, it's really, really common. You're going to find that that might be a 10 out of 10 pain. Just ease more weight into the shoulder that's not onto the ball. Build your way up to be able to tolerate all of your weight into that ball. Okay, when you find the right spot, so I'm going to move up and down, left, right, finding that spot that feels like it's winding me a little bit, so it really is quite a nasty one. I'm going to leave it on there. And I'm just going to breathe, just normally, just telling my brain to be calm and this is okay. When I can get that to a 7 out of 10 on the pain, I'm going to give myself a big hug. And then I'm going to continue with my breath work, so 4 seconds in. I'm then going to pull my shoulders down into the ground, squeezing my shoulder blades together. And then I'm going to breathe out for 8 and just relax into that ball. Just putting more weight into that ball so it can break everything up. Another breath in. Squeeze the shoulder blades together for 4 seconds. And then out for 8 and just relax. Last breath. You should find after the third breath that gets a little bit easier. So after 3 breaths there, we're going to find a slightly new area. Won't be far away, might be a centimetre higher, centimetre lower. And then we're going to do some movement in here. So all of my weight is into that ball. It's just between my shoulder blade and my spine. I'm going to take a 4-second breath in as I raise my arm above my head. Trying to touch the floor behind me. Hold it for 4, and then I'm going to breathe out for 8 and bring the hand back down. Three of those. Brilliant. Now, if you're particularly tight there and you've got some extra time, you'd move just 1 rib up, repeat the same, 3 breaths in on it, 3 breaths in, arm up and down, and then another rib up and repeat the same and just take more time on there. But again, for the purpose of this video, we're going to keep moving through. So I'm going to come to the other side now. I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to hunt for the tightest area. Mine's about there, where it just feels like it's winding you slightly. I just want you to take a few normal breaths just to calm the brain down. Your brain is going to be telling you, get off me. It's going to be in that flight or fight phase. So I just need you to control that and calm the brain down. Just let it know that we're meant to be here. This pain's a good pain. And then when your brain is calm, give ourselves that big hug, put as much weight into that ball as you can, and then 3 deep breaths in and out. 4 seconds in. Squeeze the blades down and together for 4 seconds, and then out for 8. And again, like other areas, it's normal to feel this pain somewhere else. You might feel this up into the shoulder, up into the neck. That's not a bad thing. Second breath in. And then out. And again, every time I'm breathing out, I'm just relaxing my body into that ball. It's meant to be uncomfortable. If it's not, you should be finding a new area. Good. Find a slightly different spot. Pain will go up again, and then we're going to start to move that arm. So 4 seconds in as you raise the arm above your head. Hold it there for 4. And then breathe out for 8. Again, just relaxing, putting more weight into that ball as you can tolerate. Then our last breath. Good, and then again, if you've got the time, move yourself up, move yourself down, find different areas of that fleshy part between the spine and your shoulder blade, anywhere in that area at all, and you're going to be working on some good things. So, last up, what we're going to hit this fleshy part on the top of our shoulder here. This is where we hold our tension. If you're rounded at the shoulders, which is really common for people with back pain, then we need to break all of this up because they're working at trying to keep you in that 6-point posture, that good posture where we're keeping our chin in, our shoulders back. So by breaking those up, you're going to give yourself that chance. So what we're going to do, you're going to find this fleshy part of the shoulder, and I want you to put all your weight into that area. Now, we're going to come into a glute bridge position, squeezing our glutes, and I'm pushing with my feet so all of my weight is balanced on that ball. Again, we're hunting for that 7, 8 out of 10 on your pain scale. If it's 10 out of 10, just drop your hips slightly, then there'll be less pain on there. But find that area, drive down into that ball, okay? What we're going to do, we're just going to help that brain just calm into that. And when you're ready and your brain is calm, we're going to take that 4-second breath in and raise the arm above our head once again. Bring the arm right up above the head. Hold for 4 seconds and then breathe out for 8. Bring the arm all the way down to the side. Put all of your weight into that ball. And after 3 breaths, we'll go on to the other side. Flip round so you can see it. Again, finding that fleshy part of your shoulder, between the end of your shoulder and your neck. Put as much weight into there as you can tolerate. Lift the hips up, drive with your feet, squeeze your glutes, put as much weight into there as you can. And then 3 breaths again, 4 seconds in. Hold for 4 seconds and then 8 seconds out. 2 more breaths. Last one. Very good. Slowly bring the hips back down. So, that is your 30-minute full body tennis ball or lacrosse ball routine that's going to help you replace your physio, chiropractor, sports massage, osteopath, whoever you go to see. You can do it all when you know how to use this. So I want you to have that as part of your morning routine, your evening routine. But if you do that every single day, even for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I guarantee that you're going to see a reduction in your back pain. And then you can start bringing in some more strengthening exercises so you can eliminate it forever.